we'd have for him.
Erol Morkoc is the Vice Chair of External Relations with Republicans overseas. He joins us on the line now. Erol, thank you very much for talking to us this morning. Kamala Harris, a woman, mixed race, young, an attorney. She highlights by way of contrast, doesn't she, that your party's candidate is old, increasingly doddery, a race baiter, sexist, a convicted criminal who is incapable of telling the truth.
The matter is
oh dear. Erol, I'm afraid that line really isn't up to scratch, and I do want to hear your answer to that question. So what we might do
I think we're losing the line here. Can you hear me?
Okay, we're getting you a little bit better there.
Hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly now. Okay.
Just
look,
start
Kamala
again,
Harris,
will you?
Yes, Kamala Harris, she seems like a nice lady, but the fact of the matter is she's the most dislikable candidate in the Democrat Party. My home state of California, where she was a senator, she couldn't even get 0.6% of the vote. She is young compared to the last two candidates, but, age isn't an issue, as the Democrats let us know for the last 4 years with Mr. Biden. And certainly we're not worried about Donald Trump going up against Kamala Harris. I think that the younger person in this race is going to be J.D. Vance, the 39-year-old millennial who's the vice presidential candidate under Donald Trump. But it certainly is a contrast. An attorney is never a compliment. You don't want to have a government run by lawyers. That's never a good thing. But, the fact of the matter is she's going to have a tough time bringing the Democrat Party together just because she's never been able to do it. She's the least popular vice president in history, and she's going to come absolutely with the baggage of Joe Biden's candidacy or presidency. She was the border czar, failed at that. She was the AI czar, can't imagine what she did for AI. So there's a very nice situation where the next few days she'll get the very positive press releases. And honestly, on a personal note, as an American, I'm so grateful that at least Kamala Harris or anybody besides Joe Biden, for a national security standpoint, is running. But in the end of the day, she doesn't really have the support of her own party. And that's being shown by the lack of endorsements from people like Pelosi, people like Obama, people who got Joe out of the way. And so it remains to be seen. I think, Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom from California, Whitmer from Michigan, these are much more capable actual politician, statesman. And Kamala Harris simply is somebody who's not taken seriously by the majority of Americans.
She does, as you say yourself, stand on the record of Joe Biden's 3.5 years in office, after which there are more people in work than at any point in US history. There was a $2 trillion package to plug the gaps that the Trump presidency left in the wake of the COVID pandemic. It's the biggest ever climate package anywhere in the world that has brought tens of thousands of jobs to red states. That's quite a platform to be standing on, isn't it?
Well, certainly you're not insinuating that Donald Trump is responsible for the pandemic where everybody was locked in their houses.
No, just how he handled it.
And the situation when people got their jobs back, there's been a lot of very cooked up jobs numbers. The fact of the matter is the real wages are down. Inflation is decimating the middle class, decimating the working class. Illegal immigration is suppressing wages of our most vulnerable citizens. As an immigrant to the United States of America, it has been one of the worst 4 years for real people. If you don't have money in the stock market, which is moving with inflation, which is only about 10% of Americans, the real people in this country have not seen those benefits. Yes, they can print money and create jobs. Keep in mind the jobs they're creating are government jobs, okay? Government jobs aren't creating wealth, they're redistributing wealth. And while that's all well and good, that's nothing to stand on when we're a country that prides itself in, individual capitalism, entrepreneurship, building new businesses. And that's why you see somebody like Donald Trump coming in and all of a sudden Silicon Valley, the crypto people who are kind of the future thinkers of this country, the real people we need to drive innovation to defeat, not our enemies, but to win this century like we did the last one. That's what we're looking for.
TJ Malloy, if you have a problem with where America is at, with where it's going, as very many people do, Kamala Harris is not going to be the candidate for them.
Well,
I don't think... Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
The Democratic Party was handed a lifeline yesterday. And right now, Trump is probably ruined that he picked J.D. Vance. So much baggage there. I think a much more dynamic vice presidential pick for Trump would have been Nikki Haley. Trump is not going to have problems getting white boys from Ohio to vote for him. He's going to have a lot of problems now getting suburban housewives and people who are very worried about the right to choose, to vote for him. And I think we just went from, we have to remember, Joe Biden's numbers did not collapse. He lost 2 or 3 points, but that base was still there. And I think we're right back to a 50-50 race. And if, Kamala Harris is capable of unifying this party, which seems to be happening in under 24 hours now, that it's becoming largely unified, it's going to be, slight advantage, I think, to Democrats. Very slight. I mean, we're talking about a razor edge election once again. But I think we're going to have 20 to 30% increased turnout by African Americans, which is a huge part of the Democratic base. I think it's really a big game changer. If she can unite the party, I'm confident she can.
All right. Thank you very much. Certainly not 50-50 if the polls are correct. It's more like 47-53, but we will see where this goes from here. TJ Malloy, Democrats abroad, and Erol Morkoc, Republicans overseas. Thank you both very much.